Now, my people, I have got my guest on. My guest is about to appear. I am adding him on. And as you know, this is a new thing that Facebook has started, and therefore we are having teasing problems. But it's not too bad because eventually it did work. So this is also going to work. And Tet is going to come on. I shall introduce him. But this is taking quite a while. I don't know. I mean, Facebook, is it that you don't like my Tet or something? What are you doing? Oh, there is no answer from him. Okay, I will introduce Tet to you. Connect. Tet Kofi is really called Tete. Kofi Tete is it the eldest son or the second born? I think it's the second born son from my side of Ghana, and his surname is Kofi. He is a broadcaster, a media and PR training consultant. He's really good. He's very vocal. He says things that would put a shiver down your spine, but he doesn't say it to shock you. He just speaks the truth. Tete is one of, I don't know why we're not connecting, but with determination, he's gonna come on. I'm determined to get him on. And he's gonna come on because everyone else, I've got loads of people who are able to come on, and I don't know what's happening there. Are you on FB quarantine, Tet? I've done it. I've done this several times now. I don't know what's happening. Come on, Tet. There is a green, but he's the guest has declined. Let's do it again. Are you there? I've introduced him. I have said nice things about him. He hasn't even heard any of it, I don't think. I think the good thing is that it is entertaining everyone whilst we wait for you. Are you coming on? Tet, are you in quarantine? Just say, I've still, it's still adding you. I don't know why you are not coming on. Is your screen still frozen? Well, okay, he's gonna leave and come back again. Don't go away, because all the things he wants to talk about are quite pertinent to us. And it will be interesting just to, you know, but the truth of the matter is that there is nothing better than talking or chatting away on a Friday night. I wish I do have wine, but if I get up to go and get it, I may miss my guest. And that will not be good. So I'm gonna wait. We're gonna be so determined. And I'm thanking you guys for staying on and waiting for this. Is like giving birth. This baby is not coming. Gosh. This is seriously like giving birth. Where is your message? Read his message. I'm going to leave FB and then come back. Okay, so, but the screen freezes every time. I keep accepting the invite. Oh yeah, the wine, Teddy Bongo, the wine. I'm inviting him again. I hope he can see the invite. I don't know. If this wastes time, I'll put somebody else on, because, you know, we could talk about other things while we... Should we, I mean, somebody said, I said, this is like giving birth. Someone is suggesting it's like a C-section. Tet, we have to use forceps or something to get you on air. It says it's adding you, so why are you not coming on? Okay. Who else wants to come on while we wait? This is the weirdest thing ever. It's true. This is very weird. I mean, considering that, let's see, where are you? It's just very strange. This is really strange. Okay. This is really, really strange. Because now, Tet, you have the green light beside you. You have the green light on your screen now, because I can see it. And if you have the green light, you can come on. I don't know if he can hear me. Ted, are you there? This is so... Yeah. Yes, Auntie Dede, please do that for me. But we've done this before. I just can't believe this. At the last minute. Oh my God. Okay. In the meantime, is there somebody else who wants to come on? Otherwise, I can get Carlotta to talk about being on the House of Commons, if people want to hear that. But I also, Carlotta, are you keen to talk about sex as well? Because it has to be two serious topics. Can you talk about politics and sex and not feel shy? If you can, I will bring you back on. Ted, I've read your messages. Oh, Georgette, can you do sex and politics today? Because whilst the demon is keeping somebody, is keeping good.
I don't know how you could. Anyway, we look alike. We do look alike, but I don't know how you.
We do.
For my younger.
Do you know every time you come on, then Ted comes on as well? I'm gonna try and get him back. If not, I'll put you back on. Okay.
I have a good sister there as well, Rebecca da Costa. She's brilliant.
I know her very well. Very well. She is my sister too. I am adding you, Ted. I am adding you, and you're not on. This is just bizarre. However, the show must go on. So I will have to try and get rid of him. Approve her. This is like, I've had an interesting, this is enough to give me a headache. Trying to get my guest on, not getting my guest is crazy. But, you know, God doesn't make a mistake, and there you are. I'm so happy. So do you want to introduce yourself again? Because you worked in
the House of Commons.
The House of Commons. You can tell us what you did, because you are a solicitor.
Yes, I am.
You?
Okay.
Introduce yourself again.
Okay, my name is Georgette Dede Djaba. That's my full name, but I like to speak Krobo's. My Krobo name is Ami, meaning born on a Saturday. Ami Dede Djaba. That's what I call myself. And Dede Djaba is in the US. The US, yes.
Oh yeah, that's your sister. Oh.
That's right. Yes. So basically, I'm Georgette Dede Djaba. I'm the solicitor of the Supreme Court of England and Wales, and my specialty is immigration, family law.
Okay.
Yes. There's an code. I'm not sure where the echo is coming from.
I don't know. It's not from me. There's no sound in my house.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now, I have a question for you anyway. How did you get to work in the House of Commons? Is it because you were a solicitor and you had something doing there, or what?
No, I worked there as a researcher stroke, as executive assistant to the Lord Albuati.
To the Lord?
Paul Boating.
Oh, okay. Another Ghanaian guy. Okay. So, and what did you do there?
I did mostly his diary. I kept his diary.
Okay.
I kept his diary, but a lot of the stuff is confidential.
Okay.
So I'm not able to tell you everything, but most of the time what we did was the constituency letters, correspondence.
Okay.
And then we did for election we did canvassing, yes, and things like that, and attending the constituency
meetings. Is it the meetings? Are you there? Are you okay?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Anyway, one of the questions that we're asking, did you hear about, I don't know, because we haven't planned this discussion, we're going to have this is a random chat.
Yes.
And also, but of course, we want to keep the listeners interested in our random chat. But
yes.
Yesterday, I was talking to somebody who said that a police station, the Nima police station, had been burgled. Have you heard about it?
The Nima police station? No, I haven't heard about that.
Now, what do you think of a police station being burgled?
I think that is completely out of order. Why would anybody go and burgle a police station?
Yeah, what I thought, my initial thought was the police are supposed to be the protect and serve, guardians of the people in Accra. Nima is a kind of an area where you think that the police there would be able to guard the people and themselves. So if thieves can go in and burgle the police station, what are the police doing? Where were they? Were they asleep? Had they gone home? Are you there? What are you doing there? Oh, you're getting your headphones. Can you hear me now with your headphone?
I can.
Okay. Now, did you hear my question though about the police station?
Yes, I did. You said why
Okay.
Why would anybody want to burgle Nima police station?
Yeah, because that's the police station. They're the people who catch the thieves. Yes. So where were they when they were being burgled?
Maybe they were sleeping.
They were sleeping on the job? When you are in a police station, that is not your house. You are supposed to be at work.
Yes.
Your sound is very low at the moment. Do you want to bring it up a little bit?
I'll bring it up.
The police station, they're the people who catch the thieves. So where were they when they were being burgled?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I can even hear myself in the job.
Okay, wait a minute.
When you are in a police station, that is not your house. Unless you have two devices on. Have you got two devices on?
Only one. I've turned off everything in my house.
Your sound is very low at the moment.
Sound is low. Okay. It's up now. It's up now.
I can hear you, but I can even hear myself. I don't know. Does your headphone then delay your sound?
Yes.
I don't know. I think we're entertaining everyone.
Yeah, there's a 2-minute delay on the headphones, so
Yeah.
we can't win. We can't win. I mean, I'm gonna try and see how this works. There's a 2-minute
It's
delay.
just, you know, I would have said it's your village people, but then you and I come from nearly the same village, so it's not the village people.
Oh my God. Let's see.
Okay, now I can hear you nicely. Can you hear me?
Is this better?
Yeah, and don't move. You're moving the camera all the time. Don't, yeah, leave it there. Because people can see you. Everyone's watching you. So you have to be still, and your camera has to be still. That's
Okay.
it. Now I can see you. That's beautiful. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
You look like.
So do you.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
can hear
very
you.
much. Excellent. Now, apart from the police station burglary, which I thought was a joke, what would you like to see since we've had the Black Lives Matter protest when we all saw this man being killed? Do you want something specifically to happen to change the things that are going on now?
Yes, yes, I do.
What?
What I want to see changed are one, the stop and search and the criminalizing of the young black boys on the streets of especially the main cities in the UK, in particular London.
Okay.
It is something that has been going on for many, many years. They've been criminalizing our youth. I also want them to stop putting a lot of our men, our good, innocent black men, in prison and in the mental health institutions. Our men are now what you call endangered. They're an endangered species. We have a lot of young black women who are single because our men are either in prison, in the mental health institutions, or they are unemployed, or they're not marriageable. You know, there's something going on in the UK that nobody's talking about. It leaves a lot of women now what you call baby mamas. What is that? Our parents never had baby mamas. So we need to talk about this. It is very, very serious.
I think I don't I my thing is this. If a lot of young black boys are being arrested for small things like not having the correct light at the back of their car, not, little things where the white person will be, given a slap on the wrist, and then the black boy is going to be put in prison. When he comes out, already the jobs, they are not being given jobs because of institutional racism.
That's right.
So when he comes out, he's been in prison. So now he can't get a job. He has no chance in hell. Women are being educated, and because of an underlying culture for us where the man feels he's the breadwinner, he calls the shots, he is bullying the woman, etc., etc. When the woman is capable of looking after herself because she's got some education and she's working, she will not have patience for the man who is not working and yet thinks he can call the shots.
That's right.
Our generation is very different from our parents' generation.
Absolutely.
And the children coming behind us are also very different from us, etc., etc.
That's right.
So that is one area where the men become disenfranchised, or they're chucked out of their homes, or they are the baby fathers, and all of that nonsense. There is another thing where disillusionment, disenfranchisement. Now, look, the children go to school.
Yes.
and the children go to school, and the teacher doesn't pay particular attention to the black boys. The teacher thinks that what the black boy is good for is to be doing sports.
Yeah, or music.
Or music. So that is where it's good for them to. So because of that, if the boy is not interested in music or sports and is not being encouraged to read a book or to do well academically, he will fall through the cracks. Now,
that's right.
All of these things, these are my views. This is the it's not even the looking for the husband issue or anything, but what is actually happening now to black people. Now, regardless of that, there are very intelligent black women out there who could also be doing well in their jobs, be promoted. But you and I know, and everyone who's listening now knows, that people are equipped. They may have gone to university, they're equipped, they get into the job, and then everyone is looking at you. New, younger, white people come in. They
Yes.
ask you to train them. You help them to know the job. They get promotion.
I've been through
you're
it.
Still there.
I've been through it.
So all of these things are the reason why we say that there is institutional racism in the UK, in the Western world, and that sort of thing.
I had it at Tower Hamlets, and I sued them, and I got £10,000.
Wow, you did
Yes.
really well. That's
Yes,
really
I did.
Good. But
that was in 1999.
That is, you sued them and won because you're an educated person.
That's right.
You're in the legal field.
I sued the legal department. Because I trained someone, a white Irish, and they gave my job to her. The permit. We were all locums, and they gave my job to her. And I said, this is racism.
This is, you see, now I hope people are listening and arming themselves. Now, one of the things that I want us to do as a race in the Western world, is to try and educate ourselves, set up areas where somebody like you could help people, even if it's pro bono, because most times people are in lower grade jobs. They cannot afford legal representation, and they're just stuck in a rut.
I agree. I mean, the firm that I contracted to do the work for me, Russell Jones and Walker, they took £9,000. I mean, I ended up with 1,000 in my pocket, but it didn't matter to me. I had made my point.
Yes, but you see, we have to do it in such a way that they don't take £9,000, because
that's right.
Apart from everything else, people need that money.
Yes.
Somebody is suggesting on here that we should have blind interviews. Blind interviews need to be conducted also, if they can, but you see, situations have come about that people, you can make a phone call, you can talk, they can say, oh, there is a job, blah, 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 and you sound English and you sound okay. You get there, they see you, and they say the job is gone.
I've had that experience as well, even in the legal profession.
Now that is serious. And what can we do about it? Someone's saying congratulations for winning the case.
Thank you. I'm radical.
What can we do about it?
Well, I think you need to be bold. We have enough lawyers now. Even we have something called the Ghana Lawyers Association, and we have at least 100 that I know of.
Okay.
We have a lot of lawyers around. We have the Black Solicitors Network. We have the Society of Black Lawyers. We have the Society of Asian Lawyers. We have Nigerian Lawyers Association. We can come together and start helping our own.
We should come together, because if that is the same, coming together and helping each other is equivalent to walking the streets and holding a placard. This is how I feel, because we can't all do that. So if you can help someone, then you're in. If you can help one person, and that's always my motto, if you can help, because people say that, oh, we should buy black, we should do this, we should do that. Now, this is one of the ways of buying black. This is how you
It
can
is.
help even a sister, help a brother. Now,
Yes.
also, there is something called mentoring, and there are a lot of people who are mentoring young black boys.
I'm mentoring. I've mentored a lot of people. Yes.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you. And I don't know how much more thank yous I can say
I'm
on
still
that.
mentoring something called the National Union of Ghanaian Students and Scholars in the UK. I'm still mentoring. I'm a member of that organization, and we're talking about students around the world.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a member. I think people should join.
Yeah, I hope there are people on there who want to join, because it would be good to help other people.
Yes.
And we have to help each other. When you talk about institutional racism, going outside and holding a placard is a good thing, because you are making a point, whether it's one person, whether it's 100 people. However, you can come back home and go to work, and the same thing is being perpetrated.
Yes.
Therefore, if you have, I watched a program one day, and somebody said, there was this man standing there, and he's standing in front of a horde of men with weapons and everything, and he said, I am going to retaliate. And the guy says, you and whose army? And suddenly he had an army behind him. We need our own army. It doesn't have to
That's
be
right.
with it doesn't have to be with um it doesn't have to be violence. We can regroup, we can organize, we can mobilize, and we can do
Yes.
things to help our own people.
I
Because
agree.
if
I mean, I think what it is as black lawyers, what I find is that we don't get enough people coming to us to give us work. So we have to make a
Okay.
living. And for example, I'm not an employment expert. However, I can tell you that if you need an employment lawyer, you can try ACAS, ACAS. It's an organization that gives you free or pro bono advice. You can try your
Yeah.
law center. If you came to the Ghana Lawyers Association, you may not get
Mm-hmm.
anyone because most of us tend to do criminal, immigration, and probably
Mm-hmm.
family law. You see,
Mm-hmm.
so we need to sit down and look at a directory, perhaps an online directory where you can access and find the person that you need in that specialty who's willing to do it pro bono. I can't afford to do pro bono. Do you see?
You can't.
I can't afford
Yeah.
it. But in the city firms, they can because they earn over £1 million a year.
Okay.
That's what it is. In some of the high street practices, we don't even have a salary. They do something called commission only. You need to go out there and find the clients, and once you found the client, you are paid a percentage of what you bill. So you can imagine if in a whole week or this COVID era, nobody comes in a month, you earn nothing. You have to pay your bills. So what we
Mm-hmm.
need to understand is if we start instructing our own black lawyers, then we can afford to do pro bono. Because when I worked for city firms, I used to do something called Citizens Advice Bureau voluntary. So I would
Mm-hmm.
get up on a say Wednesday evening and go to somewhere in Sutton, the CAB, and work free so I can get some people coming in as clients. The firm could afford that because they were paying me a salary of £30,000 a year. But if you're
Okay.
working in a firm where you have to struggle to earn a dollar or a pound, how do you
Yeah,
afford pro bono work?
I understand that.
Yeah, it's a thought. I mean, it's something that we need to think about. I would like
Yeah.
us to penetrate all the professions, not just law, but we're looking at judges, we're looking at accountants, we're looking at getting to the highest of every profession, so that when
Yes.
there are enough
And
of us out there, we can afford to, for example, pay for legal services. But right now, you find that a lot of us are going into more of manual jobs when we have got degrees. Why is a person with a degree from Legon not furthering their studies but going on to do a cleaning job or aspiring for a cleaning job?
Because he will not get the job elsewhere unless you will employ them from Legon.
Okay.
Unless
We have to start
now,
employing our own.
yeah.
We have to
Now
start employing our own.
we have to employ our own, and we have to create the jobs so that our people can be able to work and afford to have a living, and afford to live properly and keep our boys off the street, etc.,
We have to.
etc.
I mean, I have a son, believe me or not, I have a son age 40. I have a son of 40. And
Wow.
it's been a journey. It's been a journey. And I've had to talk to him about what you do, for example, when the police stops you, and
Yeah.
what you say, what you don't say. So he knows his rights, but at the same time, I think when he was 15, he was arrested in Finchley, North Finchley, which is where he goes. At the time, he was going to school, and it was a Sunday at around about lunchtime, and they said, "Oh, we suspect you look like somebody that we suspect has carried out a burglary." So he
That's
said,
what they
"What?"
say all the time.
Then he was quite young. I mean, he came from Ghana when he was 9, so he was quite naive. And then they said to him, "Let's search you." So they searched him in the street, and then they said, well, they couldn't find anything, but he had a bus pass that Islington gave him every year to go to school, and he had the old bus passes tucked underneath the current bus pass. So they said to him, "You're nicked because we thought that you were going to use the old bus passes to deceive the bus driver. So we are nicked." So they took him to a police station in the Barnet area, and then he was afraid to call me. But when it was around 6 o'clock, he started panicking. So he called me and said, "Mom, I'm being arrested." I said, "Arrested? For what?" He says, "I don't know." So I went there with the solicitor. We got there, and then they said, "Well, your son's been nicked because we suspect that he wanted to use the bus passes to deceive the bus driver." I said, "But Islington gives him a year's bus pass, travel card to go to school. So what are you talking about?" They said, "Okay, well, we're going to go and search his locker. Maybe he's a thief. We're going to go and search his locker tomorrow at the school." So the next day, they took him to his school in front of all his friends, opened his locker, and found an electronic diary which one of my barrister friends had given him as a birthday gift. So they said, "Where'd you get this from?" So he said, "Well, my mom's friend who's a barrister gave it to me." They found the barrister, and he said, "Yes, I gave it to him as his birthday present." Then they said, "Okay, we're going to put him on some kind of caution, and then
Oh,
at the end of the day, we'll leave that caution until he's 18. So that kept him on the straight and narrow until he was 18 years old. But for what? He hadn't done anything. But it's only by the grace of God that my son has never been to prison, and he's still on the streets of Islington. And, it's a miracle because we face a lot of things every day on the streets of London. You cannot begin to imagine what goes on for black boys. So it's something that we need to be aware of as mothers, and we need to start training our kids from when they are, I'll say, a primary or nursery. We need to start training them, and even the
we
friends
don't.
they associate themselves with. Because if you're caught with somebody who has a knife, you're both going down. You're both going
The thing
down.
is, we
Yeah.
have to think about the police. It's the police who need education.
Well,
It
the
is
police are
them.
trained, believe me or not. The police are trained. They have people who go in and train them about their cultures. They have the Black Police Association. Ask yourself, what is the Black Police Association doing and saying about this? Why are they silent? Or some of them are silent. Because there are a lot of us in the police right now, in the police service. There are.
And they're silent and they watch what is going on and they don't do anything about it. And there is a question as to why. That is worrying.
I've heard one or two of the black women say that they feel uncomfortable about what is going on about
Black
discrimination
Lives
and
Matter.
racism. Yeah, they feel uncomfortable. But you see, you have to remember that London and the whole of UK was burnt down at some point. Well, people were burning places, which I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in violent protests, and I don't believe in looting and all of that. But we have to ask ourselves, what is the black police doing? And why are they asking us to join the police? Why are they asking us if There is a lot of discrimination within the police itself. There is a lot of discrimination within the police service against the black officers. So ask yourself, why would I want to join the police? And also, my community is going to call me a coconut.
No, your community will not call you a coconut if you treat the people well. Somebody say the black police behave worse to our children sometimes. Just
they do. They do. I've seen them. I've seen them on our streets where I've queried one of them. I've stopped and I've said, why are you searching a black boy on the street? And they said, step aside, Miss Djaba, you're interrupting with this, step aside. Really? Step aside?
This is disturbing. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we can't upset ourselves. It's Friday and we need to feel good about ourselves.
I agree.
But there is another thing that I want to ask whoever, and you are here, so you will have to answer it. The question is, a friend of mine, and before I tell you the question, a friend of mine said to me that a lot of African women are frustrated with sex.
Yes.
Now, frustrated with sex, how? What is your view on that?
What is my view?
Yeah. Do you know about that?
The thing is, as an African woman, what I could say is the couple needs to have communication about what they want in bed. Then there needs to be a long chat about the do's and the don'ts, or what each of them have as a preference. Because we are brought up to think that it's something that is a taboo subject. It's something that is meant for procreation. I mean, having babies. For some people, they're told that it's dirty, they shouldn't do it. So when we grow up as women, we grow up not really, I would say, loving sex. Some of us grow up as prim and proper or frigid, call it what you like, not even knowing how to do it. Because the men complain that the African women, or some of the African women, don't know how to do it properly. And the women also complain that the men don't know how to do foreplay and stuff like that. So in my own humble opinion, I think the first thing should be communication, where when you meet the man and you decide that you're going to go and have sex, first of all, you look at STDs or STIs, that's sexually transmitted diseases. You both go for the tests. These tests are free. They're free in this country. So you go to a clinic, get the test done. You know you're both clean. Also, personal hygiene is very important. And don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid if you have to watch a porn movie or whatever. Explain that, honey, this is what I want. This is how I want it. This is where I want you to touch me. This is where I don't want you to touch me. For example, some people don't want anal sex. So once you're able to communicate that, you can guide him. You know, you could both have a shower before you go in to do whatever you want to do. And then just make sure that it's a pleasurable act for both of you. But without communication, how's he meant to know what you want?
So, but if you, as you said, if you're abroad, first of all, we must remember that, you know, everyone who's having sex should be protected and all of that. I don't normally talk about sex on my show, so it's not something that I'm very kind of versed about. However, before you have sex, you have to protect yourself. Now,
yes.
right now, in the climate of
COVID.
We've also heard that they found COVID in the sperm. How are we going to deal with this? Have you any ideas?
Well, I think that people still have to wear a condom. The woman has to wear the female condom, and the man has to wear the male condom. And we have to be very careful, because if it's somebody that you don't know, I don't think you should be having sex with them unless and until they've been tested for COVID. And how many times are you going to test? In America, I think they test them 3 times. So I think that you should be testing as often as you can, if you can find somewhere to do the test. And then pray, because right now, as I understand it, it's illegal to go and have sex with somebody you don't know. So you both need to protect yourself, because this is an illness that could kill someone. I mean, I have family members, or a family member who went through this COVID and nearly died. So we have to know that it's real. And therefore, if you are about to have sex with somebody that you've never had sex with, you have to be very, very careful. You have to make sure that he wears a double condom, for example, and make sure that the female condom, and the female, should also the condoms in your bag, just in case the man doesn't have the condom. You wear it. You get him to wear it, or you can put it on him. Don't leave it to chance, because it could end up with you being very ill or very dead.
Somebody is asking, someone is shocked that we're talking about the COVID being in the sperm, but it was in the news. You can Google it.
Yes, it is in the sperm, because you remember that this is an illness that is airborne. So when you sneeze, or you cough, or whatever, it can spread it. So why can't it be in the sperm? I mean, let's just think practically and rationally about this. Let's just think rationally about this.
No, I can't. I'm thinking rationally, and I can't see how it can enter into a sperm, because a sperm is in your body.
Let me explain to you why. This is an illness. Let me stop you there. That has Ebola, HIV, carbon monoxide poisoning, and a host of other viruses all mixed together in a lab and put out there. So ask yourself, how does HIV get transmitted?
But are you saying this as a fact?
Yes, I am.
Because we don't know. We don't know as a fact whether the whole jury is out there about it being made in a lab. There is a bat involved. There is a market involved. There are all sorts of things involved, and everyone is saying it's from some angle. We're not sure where the illness is actually coming from.
I'm not saying where it's coming from. I'm saying what it comprises of.
It comprises of AIDS, Ebola,
carbon monoxide poisoning, and a host of other viruses combined together.
I see. So basically, does that then mean, and I know that you're not an expert, but you've kind of read about it and everything. So from your findings and your observations, does that then mean that we should stop having sex because now we're going to become extinct? We don't know. When you meet somebody,
yes,
coming back to your discussion about having a long chat about what you want and don't want.
Yes.
When you meet someone and you start chatting with them and all that, and you kind of get into a relationship, it's not everyone who has long discussions before they actually get down and dirty.
That's right.
So when is it then after that you start educating each other about it, or that discussion has to be had first and foremost and decided, and that sort of thing?
I think that it should be one of your first conversations, because you need to know where you are and where you're going. If you are going to have sex, like I said, you have to first of all have those tests done, STI tests, and then you have to make sure what type of protection are we going to use. Are we going to use, for example, the Mirena coil? Are we going to use on top of that a condom? You see, because you're looking at, in the past, we're looking at preventing of pregnancy. Okay, now it's not just pregnancy, this is a deadly disease. So you need to be able to have protection that will protect you not just from pregnancy, but from the disease. So you should be thinking outside the box. And in the beginning, you should really decide what protection you're going to use and the type of sex you're going to have. I hear that one of our sisters, Akuma Mama Zimbi, she's got a hilarious movie on YouTube called The Corona Sex Position. I think you should watch it. She's from Somanya as well. Her proper name is Joyce Dongote Paddy. She has a big laugh about these things. But it's something that we need to understand that at the end of the day, you need to talk about it. You need to talk about foreplay. You need to talk about the positions. Is it going to be a doggy position, for example? Is it going to be missionary position? You need to learn. There is something called the Kama Sutra. People should go away and learn about these things. There is a lot of porn sites that, if you want to, if you're into that, you could go away there and learn. But without learning, how are we going to be able to develop or even pleasure each other? Because when we grow up, we don't know. Our parents don't talk to us about sex, and nobody tells us how to do it.
It's a natural thing that happens, or not?
I don't think it's just natural. I think we need to learn.
I think we need to learn.
Yeah, because people in places like Thailand and other places like that, they learn. So if you're not careful, your husband could go and get a prostitute or go for another woman because you don't know what you're doing. You're lying there like a piece of wood.
You see, I don't follow with that line of talking, because I think that if you have a husband who thinks he's very experienced in that sort of thing, why doesn't he take his time to teach you? Because you're not just there. You're a couple, and therefore, when someone says, "Oh, she's not that good," what are you talking about? Not that good
The
how?
thing is, remember, maybe you're both around the same age, or maybe he doesn't know much. Maybe he doesn't know much. So you have to teach each other. Every couple is different. And even as you age, as you grow older, the positions that you're going to be doing are different. For example, when you're pregnant, the position will be different. When you're maybe just wanting a cuddle, perhaps you don't want the full sex. So every situation and every couple is different. You may have even an older guy who doesn't know much about your preferences. Do you see what I mean? So I think that you need to talk about and not assume that the man should know everything. He may know about whatever he did with the previous woman he was with, but maybe I'm different. Do you see? So we need to talk about it, and you will find that even as you grow older, there may be a time when maybe, for example, you don't want your nipples touched because it's sensitive, or you're dry, you need lubricants. So there's so many different angles that we can approach this from. But like I said, try and interview Akuma Mama Zimbi. She's the sex doctor. She's the sex expert. She will be able to tell
I
you a lot more.
I don't do sex. We're just talking about it in view of COVID.
Okay, COVID is real. I would not, seriously, I would not be having sex with a stranger or somebody I don't know at this moment in time if we still don't know, we don't have the treatment for it, no vaccine for it, nothing. And it's such a risk. It's such a risk. Do not have unprotected sex ever if you can. Until this COVID thing, we know about it. If not, a lot of people are going to die.
I think we've had a good interview, don't you?
I think so.
You've said, yeah, you've said a lot. You've said quite a few things which has opened up our minds. We've also had thinking. We've thought about the reasons why the young black boys are having problems. They're being stopped, and all of the other issues around. They're being arrested falsely. A lot of these things also can affect the person's confidence, and then they don't want to go out, they don't want to work, they don't want to be seen walking just in case they're caught, etc., etc. Then we have, so you made those points. Then also, is there something online for the lawyers, associations and things, black lawyers, Nigerian lawyers, Ghanaian lawyers,
We don't have a website yet, but what I will do is explain to our people. We have a WhatsApp group. We need to put ourselves out there for the community to know where we are. But if you contact, for example, the Law Society, they will give you a Ghanaian lawyer if you want a Ghanaian lawyer, because you tell them you want somebody that speaks Tree or somebody that speaks Fanti or Dangbe, because they don't want us to also appear as discriminatory. But what it is we need to have a website, because the Ghana Doctors and Dentists UK, they have a website. So the Black Solicitors Network, they are registered with the Law Society. So if you wanted a black or brown lawyer, you could get one. And I think it's about time that as a group, we need to come together, all of us, all the black lawyers, and then have a directory that it will be online so that people can access that easily. Because at the moment, a lot of people don't even know that there are black lawyers out there. They don't know they're
yeah.
black judges. 1% of us are black judges in the country.
But
Yeah,
what is
1%.
1%? Is it 10 people, 15 people? Well, what is 10, 1?
Probably about 30. Probably about 30 people, I think. But it's a
Wow,
start. When I first
it's
started this, we didn't have that many
it's
black judges.
yeah. I mean, I didn't know that. I knew that there was one lady, black lady judge, but I thought it was just her. But 30, that's a
There's
lot.
Barbara Mensah. Barbara Mensah is a
Oh yes,
Luton Crown
yes,
Court judge.
yes. I know about her as well. So I know two, but that's I didn't know there were. So
Oh,
this
there's
is
Jilaga King. Jilaga is from Sierra Leone. There's a lot of us
okay.
out there. There is Charlotte Boite. Charlotte White. There's a lot. I'll give you a list. So you can
I
interview
think
them.
it has to go online. What it needs to do is be online so that people know where
Well, you know
people
that
are.
judges won't do that because they're meant to be
It's fine.
distancing themselves from the community. Because if
It's
not, people
the
will go and knock on your
lawyers.
door. People go and knock on your door like how they go in Ghana with the goat and the sheep and all that.
No, it's the lawyers I'm talking about. I'm more interested in the lawyers. The lawyers coming
Oh, the
out.
lawyers, yes. The lawyers, we need to advertise ourselves. Yes,
You do.
yes,
You do. Now, the other thing also coming back, we've gone the sex way, we've come back to, I think that we ourselves should try and have a pot where we put money towards these things so
yes,
that individuals can help someone else in a
yes,
situation somehow,
yes.
pay back,
I've done a lot of
pay.
free work, pro bono work. I've done a lot of pro bono work. I'll tell you, for example, there was a musician that came into this country called Dasibre Jamina. He came here with £100,000 worth of cocaine a while back, and I went there pro bono to help, and he got acquitted. But I had to bring a witness in from Ghana, Tic Tac, the musician, and I spent £1,000 of my own money to bring this witness, and then he gave evidence, and this guy got acquitted. Do you know he got £33,000 compensation from the government, but he never paid me my £1,000 that I used to bring Tic Tac. That was his ticket, his accommodation, and expenses. So why would I do pro bono work anymore? I mean, normally the embassy used to send me a lot of like knife crime victims. They'll send me these people, and I would take time out of my own work because I was working for local authorities at the time or private practice, and follow the case for a year. Go with them to the Old Bailey, hold their hand, explain to them the system, work with the police. Very stressful work. And they have so many, when you enter a house, there's so many issues: absent fathers, immigration issues, welfare benefit issues, all housing, rehousing. You need to refer them, signpost them to counseling because they're suicidal. And yet, they don't even value your own time. There's insults, they take out their anger on you, and you don't get anything. So I was the only one doing it at the time within, the Ghana lawyers, and I thought, why stress myself out? So I stopped doing it.
I think we should talk, we have to find a way to have a balance and try and let people understand that even though I'm doing pro bono for you, it is not free, and that you're taking my time, etc., etc. Now, if other people can, like that method of pay it forward, where I buy a cup of coffee and I pay for someone else as well, we could be putting money together, and there could be a body that takes care of the money so that it helps other people. The thing is, for whatever reason, in my mind, if we do not help each other, we will stay in the situation that we're in. We're stuck.
You're absolutely right. We are going to help each other. I believe that we should help each other. However, when you claim, for example, compensation, the Criminal Injuries Compensation Authority can give a person, for example, £20,000 compensation. You've applied for this for the client. And this client, once the money is there, or once the money comes in, they don't want to give you a penny. You've agreed that perhaps you're going to take only £500 for your trouble and for your sins. And then they decide they're going to be clever. It doesn't give us the incentive to want to do this. We can contribute, for example, £1 a month as a community. So we have a pot there. So in the event that somebody cannot afford to do pro bono work, but still is keen on helping, because I have a lot of people right now with immigration cases where they come and say, sis, I can't afford it. The home office fee is so expensive that I can't afford a lawyer. But I need a lawyer for example, an appeal, or I need a lawyer for this application. I need somebody to be able to pay me £1,000 to do this work for the person. Because I'm not a law center. I don't get funding from anywhere. So basically, my firm doesn't get any funding. They don't get legal aid to do it. So what we need is a pot somewhere that we can access. And what we can do is set up like a charity, an NGO, that we can apply for funding to do these things. Because there are, I think, there's central government funding, there's local government funding, there are other charities that actually assist. So if we are able to do that, say you can spearhead it, then I'm quite sure that we can assist.
Okay, we will try. We will. Let's talk about this off camera.
Yes,
But I want to thank you. Thank you so much for
you're welcome.
stepping in, totally, off the cuff. We have not planned this.
I
don't
know.
know.
Next time we'll rehearse it, because I wanted to talk also about the Terence Higgins Trust. And when we talk about sex, we never talked about the gay sex, because so far I've heard about COVID-19, but I haven't heard about anybody talking to me about the gay sex.
I don't understand what kind of. What I said was I don't normally talk about sex anyway. So this is just the fact that it was an experiment. All of this
Yes.
COVID stopping people from meeting each other, not knowing, blah,
Yes.
blah. But we can talk about this. We're not going to rehearse it, but we can plan it so that you can come on. And with me, you can come on. You have your information. I allow you to come on my show and you talk about it. And it's so, to all listeners, if you have something that you're passionate about, you want to talk about it, I'm ready for you. We can
Yeah,
talk about it.
my main subjects are domestic abuse, in particular the abuse against the women. I'm talking about physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and financial abuse going on in the streets of London. It's something that is a very passionate topic for me, and I would like us to tackle it bit by bit, each subject at a time. And the fact that our kids are being taken into care and are being abused in care, we need to fight back. We cannot sit there and allow this to happen. I have who are innocent, have done wrong, and I have one particular one who's been in there for 12 years for a murder he did not commit.
Thank you for
Bye.
your passion with which we have had this interview. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, thank you, listeners. Thank you all who stayed with all the beginning, the kerfuffle, and all of that up until Georgette came in and has spoken. We have shared a few ideas about Black Lives Matter, what we're gonna do moving forward. We've also had a chat about the COVID and more importantly about the sex, how we're gonna deal with that. Because suddenly everything is so confusing. And if you live in a house and your partner is outside the house, how are you gonna cope? How are you gonna deal with it? And all of these things. It's still confusing, but we will deal with it. And anyone who thinks I'm looking directly at them, yes, I am, because I'm talking to you. Everyone is important. And when I'm talking to you, I'm looking at you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Be well.